Yes, my people, them was crack-a-lacking. We're back, boy. Episode 6, Father Talks podcast. First and foremost, like I always say, man, big up to everyone who's tuning in, everyone who's locked in. Do you know what I mean? The support does not go unnoticed, man. It's proper appreciated, innit? Tell a friend to tell a friend, man. Even tell a family member as well, do you know what I mean? Tell your mum, your dad, your brother, your sister, your auntie, your uncle, your cousin, your nephew, your niece, even your youth then, man. Because you know certain youths out there, unfortunately, they ain't even got dads. Like, whether that be because the mum and dad are split up due to certain circumstances, or on a sad note, the dad's passed away, do you know what I mean? Like, and you know, I was a youth like that. My dad passed away at a young age, and I would have loved to have a father figure there. You know, it might have shaped me better, but just, unfortunately, all I had was a flipping crackhead. But that's a whole nother story, innit? But it brings me to the topic of today's episode, which is addiction, man. You see, addiction is a demon a lot of people battle. Do you know what I mean? Like me myself, I can't sit here and act like I don't battle it. Do you know what I mean? Some of you that know me, you know, I like to blaze a zoot, man. Do you know what I mean? And even it's bad, but you know, like you see with addiction, there's a lot of sides to it. Do you know what I mean? There's the real bad side of it where you know it gets people in certain situations where you know it ends up with them, you know, they end up losing friends, losing family, you know, they end up doing bad things just to get whatever they're addicted to. Sometimes they even end up getting hands and feet, man. Shout out to Clue, but real, it's that real, innit? Sometimes they end up in a big house. Or even worse, man, sometimes it kills them. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not even a joke like that. It's a serious subject, man. Do you know what I mean? Like especially with people who are addicted to heroin and that. Like heroin's an awful drug. Like you know, some people they'll start taking heroin at like the age of 20. By the time they're 24 now, they look like they're about 45, man. It's that real, innit? It's not even a joke, innit? Like it's the way some drugs get you are crazy, innit? And like with that being said, it's not always drugs you can be addicted to. Do you know what I mean? There's loads of things you can be addicted to, man. But like well, you know, from what I think, you know, drugs is one of the biggest things that people are addicted to, and it's one of the biggest things that cause problems within any situation because of the addiction. For example, like you know, you can have a couple, you know, a man and a woman, they're in a relationship, his family home, they got kids and that, but unfortunately, well, you know, I say unfortunately, but like excuse me, it's dark out there, man. Man's a little bit under the weather, innit, man? But yeah, like unfortunately, like the Donny likes a little sniff, but it ends up going from he likes a little bit of sniff on the weekend to he wants to sniff every day after work now. And then it's, you know, he wants to take a little bump in the morning before work now. Do you know what I mean? And then before you know it, he's end up not paying his bills, not paying his rent, and he's lost his yard and he's lost his kids and his wife, innit? It's that real. Like it can literally get you by the balls and you ain't got a clue where you're at in life. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I say that because I'm actually talking from, you know, personal experience, innit? Like you see me, I started smoking loud when I was 14. I'm 29 years old now, so that's a long time. Do you know what I mean? That's a long time to have been smoking. Do you know what I mean? Like, and you know, through my journey of smoking, like, you know, like at first it was a fun thing, man. It was just like, yeah, it's just me and my boys trying to be like Wiz Khalifa, because you know, if you're around my age, 29 years old, you know, when you were 15, Wiz Khalifa was a big influence in your life, innit? Do you know what I mean? Everyone wanted to be like Wiz Khalifa, man, smoking all these bats and hitting all these bongs and all that. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, like At first it was fun. Do you know what I mean? It was a fun thing. It was something to do just when we've gone to a party or something, or the weekend, and everyone's just met up, and we just want to get a little bit lit. Do you know what I mean? Like we're teenagers, in it, but unfortunately, it got to a stage where it got to a stage where I weren't just smoking with my friends. Excuse me, I weren't just smoking with my friends. It was like, I'm just going somewhere, so I want to smoke. I'm on my ones. Do you know what I mean? Like, which is crazy, because for something to be a social thing and then grip you to where you're literally so dependent on it, you can't do nothing without it. It is embarrassing, man. I'll be real with you. It's embarrassing because, like I said, I've been smoking for 15 years, yeah, and in that 15 years, I've had children, yeah, and most people say, "Oh yeah, when I have my kids, I'm gonna stop all these habits I do. I'm not gonna party anymore. I ain't gonna go clubbing anymore." Nothing like that. And some people genuinely stick by it. And big up to them for that. Real talk. Big up to them. That's discipline. Real talk. Some people got it, some people don't. I'm learning still. Do you know what I mean? I'm disciplined in some ways, but in some ways I ain't disciplined. And I'll be real, it's only really, this year, well, maybe the last 2 years, where I've actually been able to control my addiction more, because from when I started bunning, even to like up until 3 4 years ago, I was always in a bit of a vicious cycle where I was ticking a lot. And for those of you that don't know what ticking is, it's where you're shouting you're texting or calling your dealer, and you're saying, yo, let me get that now, and I'll give you the money next week. And sometimes, well, I don't know about other people, but I've been in situations where I've been so desperate, I've said, yeah, let me get that, please, and I'll give you what it cost plus £20 extra next week, just because I want it that bad. Do you know what I mean? Like, and some people are gonna watch this and be like, "Raw, so you're just gonna sit here and tell us how much of a fiend you used to be, this, that, and the other." And it's not even that. I'm talking in a sense of to you know, show awareness that you need to, if you are gonna choose to, do what I did and smoke weed with your friends, you need to really don't you need to not do it. For one, let me just say that, don't do it at all. Do you know what I mean? Because it's the worst thing to get into. But if you do unfortunately choose to do it, then you really need to get grips of it as soon as you can, because where coming from, where I come from, yeah, do you know what I mean, council estate and whatnot, certain drugs are frowned upon, yeah, and weed isn't really frowned upon like that. Crack, heroin, all them thing there, they're all frowned upon. We don't do that around here. Do you know what I mean? But from times when you're fiending for weed the same way you're fiending for a crackhead fiends for crack, you're done out. And that's the realness. And I've been done out. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm some Peter Perfect Donny, because I am not. Do you know what I mean? I've been down and out, flat on my face, not a clue what to do. Do you know what I mean? Certain times I've been in situations where, I've actually lost friends myself due to owing them money for weed. I'll be real with you, innit? Obviously, I've made amends with them. We're all cool now. Everything's blessed because, I'm not that Donny. Do you know what I mean? I've never been that Donny who's let something get over me. You see, with me, I wouldn't say I'm weak-minded, but sometimes I do let things, get the better of me. But I've always come out on the better side of it. Do you know what I mean? In any sense of things in my life, whether it be in my relationship, my missus, whether it be in, you know, trials and tribulations with my children, certain things that I feel like I'm doing right. I've always come out on a better side, and even with my journey of smoking weed, like I've always come out on a better side because I did actually stop smoking weed at one point before, you know. I'd say about 3 years ago, I well, I'd say 3 4 years ago, I was working as a bricklaying hoodie. Do you know what I mean? Working for a Donny, just, you know, passing him cement and bricks and all that whatnot. Do you know what I mean? Giving him the muck and that. And obviously, you know, eventually winter came and we kind of went quiet, so I got let go. So I applied for a scaffolding job, and you know, I was on Indeed looking at the job, and it said they do drug tests due to the job it is, because scaffolding is a dangerous job. So, you know, at the time, I was flat on my face. I needed money. So I said to my missus, look, I'm applying for this scaffolding job. I got to stop smoking. So I stopped smoking. We found a thing online where I ended up getting CBD to substitute the weed, so I could get this job and get all the weed out my system. And, you know, I was set up for my family. I was good. Do you know what I mean? My point being with that is, like, I've always had, I always feel, not well, it's not I've always had, but like, I've got that mentality when I know when I need to settle down with something. Do you know what I mean? And that's a thing that a lot of people who have addictions don't have. And that's my point being of today's episode, isn't it? Like, if you do have an addiction and you're watching this, like, you really need to get to grips with it, because like that, it can ruin your life. Literally, in the blink of an eye, it can ruin your life in any context. Do you know what I mean? Like, whether it be you're so high, you ain't got a clue where you're going and you get lit by a car or something, or in the sense of you're looking to get so high, so you're gonna lick any move you think you can, and you try to rob the wrong person and they poke you up. Do you know what I mean? And you're brown bread now. Do you know what I mean? Like, and you might laugh at when I say brown bread, but it ain't no joke, innit? It's the realness out here, man. It's the realness. Like, addiction is a very, very, very bad demon that a lot of people are battling. And, you know, some people just brush it off, but it's not a thing that needs to be brushed off, man. It really needs to be, you know, it needs to be looked upon, and it needs to be, like, you know, helped, man. Like, if someone's offering you help with your addiction, take it, man. You know, if you know yourself, you've got a proper problem with your addiction, sort it out, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, my dad was addicted to alcohol. That's what killed him, alcohol. And like, some people who know me now are gonna see that and be like, so why do you drink and that? Because, like, I'll be real, like, I went through a stage where, you know, I was really, really hooked on the drink. I didn't even think I was that bad, because I weren't as bad as my dad in the sense of where I was boying off my kids and not seeing them, not paying for them and all that. Like, I was still doing everything I needed to do. I had my responsibilities on point. But COVID, obviously, when COVID came along is when I got bad on the drink, innit? Do you know what I mean? Obviously, I got furloughed, and that was it, man. I was drinking at 8 o'clock in the morning till I went to sleep, waking up, starting again. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, because I still had my priorities in check to make sure I was getting peas while I was furloughed and that, so we weren't flat on our face, I thought, yeah, man, I can do what I'm doing. I'm calm. I ain't alcoholic. But realness is, I was bordering on an alcoholic, even till up until this year as well. Like, you know, Christmas time just gone. I said to my missus, like, obviously I'm gonna get some crates for Christmas and that. You know, everyone has their Christmas drinks. We were sitting in my summer house, like, maybe, like, I don't know, maybe Boxing Day on the 27th of December, and I said, when all these beers are gone, I'm gonna knock the drinking on the head, man. I ain't even gonna touch no more drink. And yeah, man, well, it's the 19th of January now. So what? I'd say I think I had the last drink maybe 3rd of January. So what's that? 16 days I haven't touched the beer for. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's good, considering I come from an alcoholic father who actually died from it. So yeah, man, if anyone's watching this who's suffering or battling addiction, because, you know, like, people say it's not a disease, it's a you know, self-inflicted thing, and it is a self-inflicted problem. But you know, unfortunately, it does come from all sorts of things, man. Childhood trauma, you know, like certain events that happen in life, family members dying and that. It comes from all sorts of directions, but it can be helped in all sorts of ways, man. So yeah, man, if anyone watching this is battling addiction, and just try to get some help, man. Do you know what I mean? Just try to get some help and try to control it. And ask yourself that question. Am I an addict? Can I control it? Or do I really just need to stop? It's the Father Talks, man. Like, comment, subscribe, keep sharing. Big up to everyone, man. Love and respect every time.